Well, Taylor Swift endorsed Harris after the debate, and we have seen an article from The Hill. I'm going to read it, respond to it. Taylor Swift's surprise post debate endorsement of Vice President Harris is sending shockwaves throughout the political world, and the reverberations might prove hard for former President Trump to shake off. Taylor Swift, she is the biggest celebrity in the world who a heck of a lot of people look up to. It matters. It'll matter in close states. David Thomas, a Democratic strategist and former aide to then Vice President Al Gore, said of Swift's Tuesday night Instagram post backing Harris's White House bid. In a message to her more than 280 million Instagram followers, posted shortly after Harris and Trump came face to face at the debate hosted by ABC News, Swift told her fans that she is supporting the vice president because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos, the 34-year-old All Too Well singer wrote. While the endorsement itself might not have come as a total shock, Swift backed President Biden's 2020 White House bid and has been critical of Trump in the past. Experts say its impact could be powerful due to the songwriting sensation's virtually unmatched, scorching hot star wattage. Political endorsements from most famous names don't tend to sway voters at the ballot box. I mean, hey, you saw when Beyonce endorsed O'Rourke in Texas. He came close to winning, but not enough. Even those who are on the fence, but Swift is different than your typical celebrity, said Stacey Myers, a professor of public relations and director of graduate studies at Virginia Tech School of Communications. Swift is a cultural icon who has a lot of popularity with the young demographic. The power of her is that the demographic and the social media presence and her use of social media really makes this different. Myers said the Grammy Award winner's endorsement could be more influential than even other megastars because of her robust Generation Z reach. Her fan base probably aren't the type of people that are going to watch this debate all the way through. They don't get their views from legacy media. They get a lot of their information on social. They get it on Instagram. They get it on TikTok, Myers said. So if she's speaking about political issues in that form, they are going to get their news potentially from her. GOP strategist Doug Hay agreed Swift's endorsement will open up doors to young voters and could potentially give a sorry boost to Harris's fundraising efforts, saying it allows another way for Democrats to reach that audience. They're already selling the friendship bracelets, and you could see in the future text messages coming from Taylor and so forth, Hayes said. On Wednesday, Harris's campaign sent an email blast touting the coveted endorsement. Will you join Taylor Swift in supporting Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign? The Harris for President fundraising pitch said. Appealing to her fans to do their research because the choice is yours to make, Swift urged them to register to vote and to cast their ballots early. She's encouraging people to register and get out to vote. The election is going to be close. If there are a handful of people who were Taylor Swift's fans who decided to register to vote because she said that, that could make a difference in public places like Pennsylvania or Georgia or Michigan, said Thomas, a partner at Melman Consulting. By Wednesday morning, more than 300,000 visitors headed to the U.S. government's voting page after Swift linked to it in her Instagram post, according to NPR. Last year, Vote.org reportedly registered more than 35,000 people to vote following a call to action by Swift to mark National Voter Registration Day. But hey, a self described Swift appreciator who attended one of the star's concerts in Paris warned that Democrats need to calm down before overestimating her impact. The debate, followed immediately by Taylor, my phone blew up from Democrats thinking the race is over, the former Republican National Committee spokesman said. This was a close race going into the debate. It remains a close race, Hay added. Trump knocked Swift for backing his political opponent in a Wednesday Fox and Friends interview, suggesting the move could alienate some of her massive fan base, saying she seems to always endorse a Democrat and she'll probably pay a price for it in the marketplace. The day after the debate, and less than 24 hours after she gave Harris's campaign her blessing, Swift's post had received more than 9 million likes on Instagram. So before we get into the rest of this, I just want to respond to that last thing that Trump said about, oh, she always seems to endorse the Democrats and she might pay a price for it when it comes to the marketplace and if people buy her music. I don't think a billionaire who has sold millions and millions and millions and millions of copies of albums, whether it's digital copies online or physical ones that people want to just preserve and have a collection of, is in any way worried about the impact of her endorsing one of the two major party candidates for president of the United States. Um, look at Chris Evans, the Captain America actor. He's been very vocal about endorsing Democrats time and time again, and I've yet to see any film that he was in, certainly any of the ones blockbusters anyway, flop or fail. And oh, it's because he endorsed the Democrats. Same thing with Harrison Ford. He endorsed Biden in 2020, and I haven't seen anyone say I'm not going to support or watch anything with Harrison in it because he backed the Democrats. It's just a really stupid overestimating of the fallout that you're going to get from taking a political stance. The truth is, some people are so famous, are so successful that whether they support Democrats, like Oprah Winfrey, for example, big Democratic supporter, or they support Republicans, like Kelsey Grammer, just to get name somebody, or John Wayne back in the day, it's not going to affect their ability to make a living or to continue to flourish in the oh so wonderful capitalist system that we've been living in, where most of the people that live here are poor, but I digress. Now, I do agree with the spokesman, for the former Republican spokesman, although I guess his view might be, biased, that people are overestimating her impact if they say that the race is over. The race is in no way over. We still have 1 full month to go before this thing even hits the gets down to the wire. But it has certainly been going positively for Democrats. A lot of people walked away from that debate thinking that she did well, comparatively speaking to Trump, who started to sound crazy when he mentioned people eating dogs and cats. A lot of people who were disenfranchised with having to vote for the 80-something-year-old man that a lot of us believed was not well enough to serve another 4 years were happy when he was swapped out with Harris. So Swift's endorsement is going to do nothing but help her. And the sad part is, because I was watching Secular Talk and he brought this point up, there's a case to be made that if the Republicans hadn't have played so much with fire, they wouldn't have been burned. And what I mean by that is we had all of these deep fake AI images, and I can't stand that distorted crap. But we had a lot of these deep fake and AIs that showed Taylor with Trump 2024 signs, and Trump even had one of them on his social media apparently. And again, the idea behind making that stuff is to make it sound like, oh, Taylor has, she endorsed Biden 4 years ago, but now she sees how bad Biden was. Now she sees how bad Harris could be, so she switched sides when that never happened. So if they hadn't have been posting all this fake nonsense of her, maybe they wouldn't have gotten the actual lady to come out and say, hey, no, I'm back in the Democrats again. This is getting too insane. Because Swift, by her nature, is not an insanely political person. She endorsed two candidates in the 2018 midterm, both of whom were from her I believe it's her home state of Tennessee. I know that that's like the reason for it, because she was against Blackburn, the senator, I guess the congresswoman at the time, said her views were so extreme that she just couldn't sit this one out. And of course, she endorsed Biden in 2020, held off on endorsing anybody until this far in the race, but that's fine, whatever. So this is not someone who just, like, she's a singer. She just makes her music and has a whole bunch of people that are just obsessed with her, make all types of weird stuff of her. But it's really sad that someone who's barely involved with this stuff gets like poked with all the fake news, all the nonsense on social media, and then finally is like, okay, this is who I actually support, and they try to tell her, well, be careful. You might have some Trump supporters who stop buying your things. Like, are there people who like Trump that also like Swift's music? Undoubtedly. I mean, Swift has a higher. I looked it up. Swift has a higher approval rating than apparently either Trump or Biden, which I get, I understand, but I'm sure there's some overlap between those two groups. But is it enough to make her now suddenly have a dead career or see some big minus in terms of how? No, not at all. Like I said, actors support candidates I don't like all the time. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, this is another major boost for Harris. This is probably the biggest endorsement you could get at this point from anybody. Um, I mean, hell, look at Hillary in 2016. One of the things that was so irritating about her campaign in retrospect was how she blamed no one but her, everyone but herself, and had the support of everyone. She had Bernie backing her, the Obamas, Beyonce. I mean, it was ridiculous just how all these different actors and singers were all in her corner, and she still fumbled the bag. So there's a possibility, right over the next, what is it, 8 weeks, Harris could do something stupid. But I think Trump is more inclined to do the dumb stuff than Harris is. At least the dumb stuff that could get him to not win the election. I think if Harris keeps going the way she's going, with the support that she is getting, um, she'll win this election. Not to say it's guaranteed or confirmed, but Swift's endorsement helped her, and anyone that is trying to make Swift seem like a bad person for doing it is out of their mind.